Welcome back. It's time now for Media Watch. For that, I'm joined by James Creedon. Hello, James.
Good evening, Tom.
Now, a story that really beggars belief until you see the pictures. This debate, if you can call it that, on Greek television this morning got rather nasty, didn't it?
Yeah, it makes the Latin, French and Italians and all that look very tame, doesn't it? The passions were flaring this morning down in Greece. A very nasty individual, I think it's fair to say, by the name of Ilias Kasidiaris. He has a neo-Nazi background, and let's roll the pictures because he did not agree at all with what the lady on the top right of the screen there, who is more left-wing, was talking about. She was talking about his history with, there you can see he threw a glass of water in her face because she was talking about his problems with the law. This lady on the top of the screen, in the split screen, intervened, and she was promptly met with 3 smacks in the face, including one which was a closed-fisted punch. We have it on repeat there. And then, very bravely indeed, he fled the studio. So, in any case, he was caught up with by the authorities later in the day, and he was indeed promptly arrested after that incident. But those pictures have been doing the tour of the web, and indeed, I think you're going to be speaking to somebody in Greece in reaction to that later on, if I understand,
Absolutely.
Tom.
Yeah, indeed. But that was a really violent story we just saw there. I mean, really quite shocking pictures there, and goodness me, no gallantry there either. Smacking a woman of all
Definitely not.
Of all things to do.
But
now, it's not the first time, is it, that we've seen politicians get violent on television?
That's right, and there was a particularly memorable scene on Lebanese television, in fact, back in November of last year, where 2 individuals, one by the name of Mustafa Alouche, who is in the anti-Syrian side of Lebanese politics, he got very annoyed with Fayez Shaker, who is pro-Bashar al-Assad, pro-Syria, and indeed it was more the pro-Syrian guy who initiated this particular dispute where he threw, again, water thrown in somebody's face, and it didn't go much further, but apart from some pretty nasty looking body language back and forth across the set.
That TV host looks a lot more proactive than the one in Greece. At least he stopped him from throwing a chair at the other guy.
Initially looked terrified, sort of sliding aside on the screen, but he did indeed get involved and actually prevent it from descending into any further violence. But I suppose perhaps the most memorable scene recently was in the Ukrainian parliament. This was towards the end of last month, and they certainly win the gong for biggest political melee. It wasn't on a TV set, it was in the parliament, perhaps even worse again. And this was over a proposed law to make Russian an official language in eastern regions of the country with large native Russian-speaking populations. So it got incredibly upsetting and violent, and people, I mean, I don't know how many people got involved in that. One person was hospitalised with a head injury, unsurprisingly, and here you can see people applauding from the gallery, so I'm not sure if that's an appropriate response really, but they were clearly entertained by their politicians' lack of dignity and decorum. So there you go, that's a little look back, but just a quick look online, Tom, because rather amusingly, when I was looking for the scene in the Ukrainian parliament, I typed in Ukraine Parliament Fight 20, and I realised that there was one not just in 2012 but in 2010, 2011, 2008. So they seem to be, according to the Google search engine in any case, pretty I suppose prolific, if that's a word that can be assigned to parliamentary fights. They happen pretty frequently.
I'm not going to disagree with you, lest you throw your laptop at me. Because
we'll
but in fact, I remember
dignified.
a similar situation in Britain, actually, not so very long ago. Deputy Prime Minister swung a punch at a man who threw an egg at him. So it does happen in
so
in
it's
the UK
even
as well.
the more well-behaved Brits, in some senses, they still can descend into.
Now, another video has been catching your eye. Spanish protesters have been celebrating the closure of a bank account. What's all this about?
That's right. It sounds improbable, but this is Bankia, the beleaguered Spanish bank, and it is due to get another bailout from the Spanish government or indeed from the authorities. In any case, protesters who think they don't deserve another bailout found a pretty novel way of making that opinion known. They caught this lady, who we saw earlier, closing her bank account, and spontaneously then a whole load of people went into the bank and decided to have a fiesta. And let's just have a look at those pictures, actually. Put up the volume. So there you go. I don't think she was expecting quite so much of a
fanfare,
festival or funfair surrounding that. So there you go. One way of drawing attention to the beleaguered bank.
Certainly makes the idea of going to the bank a more appealing prospect if we're greeted
Slightly
with,
more exciting than usual.
Now, you've got a story here about Twitter, and it's got a new logo by the sounds of things, anyway.
All right, let's take a look at this on Gawker. Now, Gawker is famously tongue-in-cheek when it comes to its headlines, but let's go to the computer first, actually, if we can just have a quick look at how they have presented the new Twitter logo. And you can see here that it looks pretty much essentially like the old Twitter logo.
Which is the new one? The one on the right?
On the right.
Oh,
and look at this headline. Is Twitter's logo change the most revolutionary rebranding of the modern era? And they go on to say that that they have transformed the mascot, Larry the bird. He's been transformed from a bird that looked like how he used to look into a bird that still looks like how it used to look. So in any case, there's a video on the website talking about how now the bird is actually three circles. Let's have a look at this video, and it's touting the fact that it's all circles now, and it's 3 circles as opposed to a few little, unnecessary feathers on the bird's head. So there you go. It's a little bit of rebranding gimmickry that doesn't seem to take them much further from where they were yesterday, really. So this was announced today.
I'm no expert, but I think that the bird has actually changed type. It was one kind of bird before, now it's another, because it had plumes on its head before, and now it doesn't.
So it might have been a hen, and now it's a pigeon.
But I was something like a sort of a sparrow or something.
A sparrow, something a bit nicer. So
look at it. You can see it's lost its little plumes on top of its head.
Has indeed,
it's also changed shade.
But
bluebird.
Not a bluebird, not exact, and it's gone a little bit deeper in colour as well. So I'm not sure how much more analysis we can give on the Twitter bird, but there you go, a rebranding effort.
Very nice. Thank you very much indeed,
Thanks,
James Creedon. That was Media Watch. Well, it's time now to get a check of what's getting people clicking, blogging and sharing online. Our daily date with cyberspace web news starts right now.